Hey, Fred here. Welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. In this episode, I am finally doing a gun-related video. Now, this ain't shooting, but it is gun-related. So stay tuned and you'll see what it is, or you'll just look at the title. So you looked at the title. You just couldn't wait, could you? Anyway. This is the Plate of Truth. For those of you who have just recently subscribed and may not know what the Plate of Truth is, it is a plate of steel. It is divided into 20 sections, and I could do all kinds of testing with solvents, lubricants, and test out different things, like whether lubricants would damage the metal, or if they didn't protect against rust if I left this thing out. And if you go back to past episodes, you'll actually see some of these tests. So what am I doing with the Plate of Truth today, you ask? Well, again, you gave it away, you looked at the title, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to test to see how well solvents can get the lead out. You know, they claim to take care of lead fouling, to remove, and I'm going to put them to the test to see which one does the best. Now, the way that I have simulated lead fouling on the Plate of Truth is I took a 22 cartridge with a lead bullet and rubbed until I had a good amount of lead sort of put into 10 different squares, because I'm going to test 10 different products here and see how well they do. These are bore type cleaners, and most of them state that they can take care of lead. There is an exception. And that is this Pro Shot. It's specifically copper, but I want to see if it does good with lead. And just about everything else here sort of says that it can take care of lead. So we'll find out if they can, and we'll find out which one is best. Now, another thing I wanted to do was I want to leave these products sit for a couple of hours on the Plate of Truth and see if they etch it or harm the metal in any way if left there. In addition, I had a question a couple of days ago on a video where I was buffing my barrel on the LCP, and I removed the bluing before I started buffing it up. And I removed the bluing with this product, Birchwood KC Blue and Rust Remover. So the person had come back and asked me, well, I used this, but I might have got a little bit into the bore. Would that harm it? So I'm going to go ahead and set a square aside and put some of this on there for a couple of hours, and we'll find out if it does harm metal, you know, specifically steel, or if it's okay. Now, as you can see, I've only applied this from section number 3 through 8, and then from 13 through 16. So we'll be testing a total of 10 products, and I'll take you through them, and then we'll put on either 17 or 18, one of those two. We'll put the Rust Blue Remover by Birchwood KC. So let's get started. The first product will be Outer's Foaming Bore Cleaner. I don't know how I'm going to get you to see this because this one is a foam. I don't know, I gotta shake it. I'm gonna do this over a cup so I don't make a mess. See? I don't want anyone to think I'm cheating. I'll get the good foam out of here. There we go. Alright, so you can see the foam. Now you're supposed to let this sit in the bore. So I'm going to go ahead and just sit this on here. Now I tipped the plate a little forward so you could really see the lead on the plate. If I set it flat down, the light would reflect off it. You wouldn't be able to see it. So I'll go ahead and let that sit. Really good on there. On number 3. Number 4 is Pro Shot Copper Solvent Remover. Now the copper solvent, this particular product, does not say it removes lead. Specifically for copper, but I wanted to go ahead and test it anyway because I'm really interested in whether or not this could etch the metal or harm metal in any way. So put that on number 4. Get it really wet, get it really in there. Normally you would be running a patch in and out on this one. Number 5 will be the Remington 40X bore cleaner. I really hate these stupid things. You can never get caps open on them if you push this thing down too far. I wish they would fix that. This goes on number 5. Okay. Number 6 is Remington Bore Bright. I'm going to have to do this over the cup. I don't want to spray and get it all over my desk and everything else here. Oh, it smells so good. This thing goes on number 6. Number 7 is Ballistol. Now a lot of you say, oh, it's oil. Well, you know, on the instructions it does say back here that it can remove lead right there. See that? Takes care of, dissolves copper and lead. So that's why I wanted to test Ballistol. Just so you can see me putting it in here. Ballistol really does smell good. Okay, the Ballistol goes in number 7. Number 8 is Smith & Wesson Bore and Action Cleaner. This is a spray. Got to do it in the cup. Ooh, it's like a jet coming out of this thing. Ooh, this stuff smells. So this was number 8. I don't know how you can see. I'm trying to work around the camera. It's kind of difficult. Hope I don't get a reaction starting in this cup here. Okay, now the next one is Hoppy's number 9. And this is going to be in number 13. I really like the smell of Hoppy's. Do you know they have an air freshener for a car that smells like this stuff? Yep, they sure do. For those of you gun enthusiasts that love their Hoppy smell. Next, number 14 is M-Pro, number 7. I gotta spray this in here. Okay, that was number 14, right? I want to screw this up because I don't want to start over again. Alright. What's next? Hoppy's Elite. Now I know some people, they said that they sprayed this on their gun and it ruined the finish on their SIG. That would be Mr. Mad Bad Voodoo has had an incident like that with this particular product. And for those of you who don't know who Mad Bad Voodoo is, I encourage you to go to his YouTube channel. Just look up Mad Bad Voodoo, except that do is spelled with one O instead of two, because I think he was drunk when he made that name up, so check it out. Okay, so that was number 15 for Hoppy's Elite. There we go. And this is a pretty controversial product, Butch's Boar Shine. I'll tell you, there's a lot of bad things on the internet about this stuff. Shake it up a little bit. Now, I took a whiff of this earlier. Whew, and you can smell like an ammonia in this stuff. I don't know if it has ammonia, but it sure smells like it. And I'll tell you, leaving ammonia on your gun is not good for any long period of time. But we'll find out if this actually will damage the metal if it were left on there. Okay. And the last product is this rust remover. I'm going to put that, I'm going to skip one and put that on 18. I hate these childproof caps. Oh, they won't even come off now. It's stuck. Look at that mess. I'm going to have a lot of issues with this. Why do you make a cap made out of this crap? Ugh. Alright. Number 18. We're going to let that sit on there and see if it ruins the metal. So I'm going to open the window because it's really smelling ripe in here. And I'll let these sit here for 5-10 minutes and I'll be right back. And now for the moment of truth. They've been sitting for about 10 minutes, approximately. This is by no means a controlled test in a laboratory type condition done by an expert. This is me just playing around. Spent a lot of time and money making this plate of truth. If you don't think I'm doing it fairly, I encourage you to get a video camera, get a plate, start shining it up and etching it, and spend the time that I did and see if you come up with different results. I would love it if somebody else did this and we can compare. But if I'm the only one doing it, you're just going to have to go with what I got. So let's go ahead and clean. I have a whole bunch more Q-tips I cut in half here. And what I'm going to do is start wiping, starting with the Otter's foam cleaning. I'm going to go ahead and start wiping this off. And it looks like it did a good job, because I don't see any lead. Wow. You know, normally you would be, you know, running a couple of patches through. So I'm going to simulate, you know, by rubbing this, because you would be running patches through, cleaning this out. So it wouldn't be fair just to let it sit there and not do anything else to it. You would normally be running patches through. So that looks like it got the lead out there. Let me get a tissue. I'll go ahead and clean that off. So I'd say that that product does what it has advertised to do. Next product is Pro Shot. Now again, this is a copper cleaner, not a lead cleaner, but I wanted to see how well it did. We'll go ahead and rub this back and forth. And I still see a hint of lead there. But you know what? The product is not for lead. I don't know if you could see that. Let me zoom in. This was number 4. So you can see a hint. This was number 3. You can see it's clean. Number 4, you can still see a little bit of a line of lead. Alright, I'm going to keep it close up. Next, we're going to move on to number 5. And number 5 was the Remington 40X board cleaner for number 5. I'm going to go ahead and wipe that a couple of times to simulate cleaning with a patch. Oops. And it did get a lot. I see a hint of a little bit of lead there. Wipe that off a little bit. So you can see there's a little bit, but it definitely did better than number 4, which was the Pro Shot. Okay, number 6. Number 6 was the Remington Bright Bore. Number 6. Somebody counting how many times I'm doing this? I'm sure somebody is. Well, I could see lead on the Q-tip there. But you can still see some lead there. It didn't get it totally off. You can still see it. So far the only product that has done a totally good job so far was number 3. But let's move on. Number 7. Number 7 is Ballistol. Whenever I think of Ballistol, I think Pete from the Armory Channel. He's the person who introduced me to this fine product. And it's mainly used as a lubricant, not really to clean your bore out, but I thought it would be neat to try this. I'm by no means saying these products are bad based on the results of this test. But, you know, if it does good on removing lead, that's just an added bonus of that product. So we'll go ahead and wipe that. Simulate going in and out of the bore. Wiping that. And we'll wipe this off. The tissue. And I'll tell you, not bad, just a hint of lead. Actually, I would say so far, there we go. So far, I'd say it was the second or third best there. Wow. Ballistol, pretty incredible. Number 8 is this Smith & Wesson bore cleaner. So let me zoom in on that guy. Alright. See a lot of lead on the Q-tip. Go ahead and wipe it. Let's take a look. Sorry I moved it on you. You can still see some lead there. on number 8. I thought that one would do much better. What's next? Unlucky number 13. Now, I noticed number 13 is doing stuff all on its own. Now, this was Hoppies, the normal everyday Hoppies number 9. I noticed there are some Hoppies that will say just powder, and then they have other versions. This is the standard number 9 version. Nothing special. Just that good smelling number 9 on square number 13. And I didn't really have to do much wiping because that's crystal clear, number 13. Number 14, let's see, so you can still see it there. I haven't started wiping yet. Number 14 is Empro 7. It almost dried. That's weird. It's almost dry. Wow. It dried kind of quick. Now, there is a lot of lead there. Whoops. It's hard to see on the camera because I have this light right here. But it actually did sort of clean it halfway decent. Definitely did some work. But you can still see just a little bit right there. What's next? Number 15. Number 15 is Hoppies Elite. Now this stuff can take the finish off your SIG, but can it take lead out of your barrel? This stuff almost dried too. It's weird, when I hit the lead I guess it softened it up because I could feel it pulling. I'd say it did about the same as the Empro 7. You can see just a little bit there. It's hard to see, but there's a little bit on number 15. And the last is number 16. Number 16 is Butch's Boreshine. Now, Butch's Boreshine gets a lot of bad rap, I notice, on the internet. And I just went out and bought this stuff just to see what it's all about, because my local gun store had some, so I thought it'd be interesting to grab it. Wow, a lot of lead on the Q-tip. It did a pretty good job. There's still a little bit there. You can see some traces of it. So, based on these results here, I'm going to back off a little bit. You can see some of the worst ones. Number 4, Pro Shot, but that was copper cleaner. The Remington products didn't do that good, and Ballistol did a pretty good job for a lubricant. See, I'm trying to get the angle right so you can sort of see. I'm trying to move this around so you can see. I'm going to note on the bottom what went into what square. Now, to be fair, I'm going to wipe all of these pretty hard, because it did soften up the lead in a lot of cases. So I'm going to give it an additional, because you would be running your bore, running patches through your bore, trying to dry them up and all that good stuff. Alright, so again, you can see, sorry, Number 3 and 13 came out good. I'm going to run these by. Let me try to change the lighting just a little bit. I'm trying to get this so you can see. There we go. There's a good angle. Alright. So the Remington products didn't do good at all. I can't recommend the Remington products. Can't recommend using a copper Pro Shop product for lead removal. I'm not saying it's a bad product though. I'll tell you, maybe just a little extra scrubbing, just a little bit Ballistol would probably do a pretty decent job. It looks like getting the lead out. What was number 8? Smith & Wesson Bright Bore. You would think a bore cleaner would do better than that. Let me see, 13 did great. That's Hoppies, straight up number 9. Pro Shot, which was one of my favorites, did a fair job. You could see a little bit there at the right angle. Right there you can see it. Yeah, actually that's a pretty good angle. See number 15? Number 15 was Hoppies Elite. Did a pretty decent job. Better than 14. I'd say 14, M-Pro number 7 didn't do that out of a job. It dried too quick too. Number 16 was Butch's Bore Shine, which did a pretty decent job, and it definitely reeks of ammonia. Now, number 18, this was the rust remover. Holy crap. What's going on there? I hope that comes off, because that got in my bore. Crap. Man, that's not good. Wow. That's not good. Check that out. Based on that, don't leave this blue and rust remover sitting on your gun for any long period of time. Now, I'm sure the instructions say, only leave on for, for 2 minutes, and this is sat over 10 minutes. So, do not leave this on your gun for more than 2 minutes. Leave it on just enough to get the bluing off, and that's it, because you'll end up with a gun or a bore that looks like that. And this is dry. This ain't coming off. I'm going to have to sand that off. I don't know what happened there. That's terrible. Alright. So what I'm going to do now, so briefly, just a quick overview, and to end the first part of this video, based on these results, I highly recommend our rather cheap product, the foaming bore cleaner. Did a really good job. Your old standby Hoppies number 9 did a, I think these products really did the best. These two. I'm going to pan up so we can put these guys on front stage. Ballistol did a pretty stand-up job for what it is. Let's see, what else did really good? I'd say number 16, this really stinky stuff, Butch's Bore Shine, did very well. Hoppies Elite did a pretty good job. So I'd say these products right here are the ones that did the best, with these two doing a complete job right here. These did the most complete job. Products I don't recommend based on this particular test. I'm going to move these aside. I don't recommend Smith & Wesson. I do not recommend Remington Bore Bright. I do not recommend Remington Bore Cleaner. I do not recommend M-Pro 7, because these are supposed to clean lead, and they didn't do that hot compared to the other products. And I like M-Pro 7, so it's killing me. Now this guy didn't do good, but you know what? It's not a lead remove. I keep on saying that because I don't want anyone to get pissed off. I mean, I like Pro Shop products. So the next thing we're going to do in the next video, which you'll see in a couple of days, is I'm going to put all these products back on to all these squares and let them sit for about an hour, and we'll see what kind of harm it does.